Coming up on Mountain News this morning, an Eastern Kentucky community mourns the loss of a young man who worked hard to help flood victims recover, and an organization steps up to help pets and their owners here in our region who were affected by the flood.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. 5:30. It's Tuesday. I'm Dakota Makris. Good morning to you. Thank you for waking up with us. And let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast this morning. And Brandon, before we get into it this morning, I have a funny little story to tell you. I don't know if it's really funny. Last night I was thinking, I only work 4 days this week because next Friday I have off. And I was thinking, I work 4 days this week. I'm really pumped to have that day off. No.
It's next week.
It's next week.
There you go.
So, but something to look forward to.
Exactly.
It gives you a break.
I guess you could put it that way. But I tell you what, I'll give you a break for me on Thursday and Friday. How's that sound?
Oh, stop. Now I'll get sad.
That's right. All right, let's get into the forecast this morning. Before we get too sidetracked, the satellite radar loop for the last few hours, fairly quiet. We did have try to have a shower make a run at southeastern Kentucky, but it didn't quite make it across the border this morning. Buffalo Mountain here in Perry County, 72, and pretty quiet up there. A little bit of fog in the valley here in Hazard this morning, and also at 72, 70 in Manchester, 73 London, 70 Irvin, 69 in Harlan, 74 Prestonsburg, Jackson, 72 in Pikeville, Logan, Wayne, and 75 in Moorhead, our warm spot. 79 Louisville out there this morning, almost 80 degrees, 73 in Cincinnati, 74 Paducah, 76 in Nashville, and 71 in the Tri-Cities. As we head over to the forecast for later today, we're going to see some rain chances, and we'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, officials with Kentucky State Police are continuing to look for two Breathitt County women. Both are unaccounted for following the flooding. This is 60-year-old Vanessa Baker and 29-year-old Nancy Cundiff. Both women are from the Lost Creek community. Family members of Baker say her home was destroyed in the flood. Cundiff's mother, Ruby, was killed in the flooding after their trailer washed away. The trailer eventually broke apart. Anyone with information should contact KSP Post 13 here in Hazard. State police are still working to identify victims found in Perry County floodwaters. The Lexington Herald reports the bodies were found July 31st. 2 women and a man are still unidentified. Another man has been identified, but his name has not been released. 3 of the victims were found on Highway 476. One was found on Big Willard Road. Knott County Central student Aaron Crawford, also known as Mick, was taken to UK Hospital in Lexington after getting sick while helping flood victims. He later died, adding another hit to a hurting community. He was a rising junior who was a leader on the football and wrestling teams. He was loved by his family and friends as he was always helping others. Knott Central wrestling coach Jonathan Aldana says he went beyond working on his own talents.
Mick, he really was the perfect teammate. You know, he really wanted to work hard himself, and then he wanted his teammates to improve as well.
Funeral services for Aaron Crawford will be held this Thursday at 1 p.m. at Blair Memorial Baptist Church in Hazard. The flooding has not stopped Eastern Kentucky football teams from preparing for a new season. Breathitt County's team is is in Central Kentucky, continuing practices in Madison County. Their assistant coach is among many families who lost everything in the flood. As Jeremy Toms shows us, he and his team received a special surprise.
The Breathitt County football team is used to tackling its toughest opponents on Friday nights in the fall. But this year, the Bobcats' greatest challenge came before school even started. Madison Central principal Brandon Fritz heard the harrowing stories from the floods, including that of assistant coach Casey Allen.
At 5 o'clock, my wife woke up to a big bang, and there was water running in the basement. Eventually, had to get the kids up on the hill to safety.
Allen and his wife quickly realized the dangers of getting stranded on a hillside with 4 children. So they came up with a plan, kayaking through the current to their neighbors.
I told her, it's like, I could try it, but if this current takes me, best case scenario is I end up down there and I won't be able to get back to you.
Allen paddled back and forth through the rising waters 6 times to bring his family to safety.
To hear his story, it was tough to just listen.
So Fritz wanted to give him and the whole team more than just hot meals and a warm welcome. They worked with the Southland Christian Church to bring the players and Coach Allen some very special surprises.
The gift they've given you is $1,000 shopping spree today. Love you, buddy.
They pulled together thousands in gift cards for the players. And for Allen,
And they've got you a vehicle to help you through your times. And
a blessing from complete strangers, which shows him how God always has a plan, even during the darkest of days.
And if this doesn't tell you that God's real, I don't know what will, because there's good people out there, guys, you know, and we've been surrounded by so much love. And I don't feel I deserve that.
That was Jeremy Toms reporting. In total, the players received more than $6,000 in gift cards. The Bobcats leave Madison County today, but Fritz says they'll be happy to help out in any other way they can going forward. The donation and distribution site in the old JCPenney's building in Hazard opened its doors to those in need yesterday. Thanks to ARH, Save the Children, and other community organizations and volunteers, the new donation and distribution site is covering a variety of needs for the public, like offering relief supplies and even medical care. Coordinators behind this effort say this site is not limited to the people of Perry County.
This is regional. We want this to be a place where churches and organizations come and get stuff for Knott County, Letcher County, all of the other communities, and take back to them. We want to be that one-stop shop, not just for individuals, and also individuals coming from other counties. If you can get here, we'll take care of you too.
The donation and distribution site at the old JCPenney's is open from 10 to 5 each day and is desperately needing volunteers. Since the flooding, there has been several national organizations extending their resources to Eastern Kentuckians in need, and one international group is doing what they can to help pet owners and displaced animals following the flood. Groups like the International Fund for Animal Welfare have set up at the Kentucky River Regional Animal Shelter in Hazard to help shelter staff with donations, take care of animals, and to ensure the pet owners of the area are taken care of as well.
As soon as they knew that there were donations here, the line was all the way out to the road. People were waiting over an hour to come in and get bags of dog food or cat food, so that way they could keep their pets. And that's really the goal in all this, is that we don't want people to surrender their animals. If there's resources we can give them to keep those families together.
The organization focuses on helping animals in communities impacted by disaster. It plans to continue helping the shelter for the next week or even longer, depending on the need. An animal rescue in Pike County is now recovering and working to rebuild. Our Jordan Mullins has more from 3 Mile Creek Farms about the damage the nonprofit has seen, as well as the loss of one of the farm's rescues.
3 Mile Creek Farms is devoted to unwanted, abused, or neglected farm animals. Following the immense flooding on July 28th, the farm saw heavy damage.
It was a scary, scary time. We lost a lot of our lots and cages and fencing, and all of our barn was underwater. We lost all of our hay.
Owner Rob Elkins stayed with his rescue animals throughout the night, but one animal was still taken by floodwaters, a pig named Miss Piggy.
We've had her since we started this. She was the second rescue animal we took in when we started. She was a sweetheart. She was the one that when we'd have our pumpkin patch, we'd leave turn loose, and the kids loved her, would ride her, anything. She just loved to be around people.
Elkins' home was also damaged by floodwaters, but he says not all is lost.
But like I said, it is a blessing because I still have my house there and I still have the contents in my house. So God blesses us. We just have to look for what the blessing is.
And despite the damages and losing one of his rescues,
and even though we lost lots of stuff, we are still alive. We only lost one animal out of the tons of animals we have.
Elkins is thankful he, his family, and the rest of his animals are safe and sound. In Pike County, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Elkins says he is thankful for the folks in the community as well as people across the country for sending him support, volunteering to help clean up, as well as donations like feed and hay for his rescues. WYMT is partnering with ARH and the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky for fundraising efforts. Scanning the QR code on the screen with your camera on your phone will take you to our fundraiser page with both flood relief funds. For those of you who want to write a check, the address for ARH Foundation Flood Relief is 2260 Executive Drive, Lexington, Kentucky 40505. And for Appalachia Rises, the address is 420 Main Street, Answer Kentucky 41701. Legendary country music band Alabama donated $25,000 to flood victims. On Saturday, Alabama presented a check during their concert at the Barnyard venue in Sharpsburg, that's in Bath County, to the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky. Band member Teddy Gentry said, quote, hopefully these funds can help the families, farmers, and businesses that were affected. They are in our prayers, end quote. We just had this morning, Dolly Parton prepares to make a trip to the Buckeye State to help celebrate the wonders of reading.
Rounds of showers and storms start later today, and they will likely stick around for a bit. I'll time them out for you in about 3 minutes.